I, 27 female, am marrying my brother's best friend, 29. When my partner and I told my brother we were dating, he was happy. He was happy that his best friend and his favorite sibling were together. But when we told him we got engaged, things changed. He became sour and didn't even congratulate us. Throughout the wedding planning process, he made negative comments about everything and kept making jokes about what a terrible wife I'll be and that my partner should run while he can. My partner and my family all acted as if he was just joking. When we were 3 weeks away from my wedding, my brother asked me to come to his place by myself. When I got there, he told me I needed to cancel the wedding. He kept saying he couldn't tell me why. I just needed to cancel it. I was getting worried. Maybe he knew something about my fiance. Maybe he was protecting me. But he denied it. He said my fiance was great, but I needed to cancel it. As a joke, I said, "It sounds like you're in love with him." And he admitted that he is. I was taken aback and didn't know what to say. So I told him he was uninvited from the wedding and left. When my family and my fiance's family found out I uninvited him, he told them it was because he insulted me. So everyone thought I was just being dramatic and I'll get over it. It's now a week away from the wedding, and my fiance keeps telling me to call my brother and sort it out. He says it's now getting ridiculous and he needs his best man. My family's calling me immature and keeps telling me to get over it, even though they don't know the full story. I'm so conflicted. I would never get with someone my siblings have romantic feelings for, but now it's too late. I love my fiance. We have a life together, and we're planning our future. I can't just cancel it all. I'm also not going to out my brother to everyone. I'm not a horrible person, but I feel so guilty. Should I just let him come and be miserable at the wedding? Or should I continue to be the idiot to the rest of the family and keep him away? Whoa, okay. What a mess. Your brother has put you in an impossible situation. Not the idiot for uninviting him, but what you do next will decide many factors for your family going forward. Can you talk to your brother again? Maybe when you're both calm. Obviously, you don't want to out him, but keeping something like this from your future husband is a massive conflict. He's blocked me on everything. I would never out my brother. How could I even tell my partner? I know my family and partner wouldn't care if he was gay. It's just not my place to out anyone. This is literally darned if you do, darned if you don't. In these circumstances, you have to ask yourself, are you ready to set yourself on fire so others can stay warm? A secret like this will come to bite you. Are you ready to leave your fiance? Because if you don't tell him, he's going to resent you, and this could lead to an eventual divorce down the road. Yeah, it's not your right to out your brother, like it's not his right to put you in this situation. Think about it, girl. Either choice is crap, but only one lets you be happy. You don't need to tell everyone, but you need to tell your fiance. I understand not inviting the brother if he can't be trusted to behave, especially if alcohol is involved. But that's not a secret to hide as you're just beginning a marriage. You're setting up your fiance in a position where he has to exclude someone he's been friends with for years based on a lie that minimizes the situation that he's in the middle of and doesn't realize. However, you're not telling your fiance because you're worried he feels the same way your brother does. You are the idiot. Both of your choices are dumb. Why? Because you're willing to throw a wrench into your upcoming marriage by hiding this crucial detail from your partner. To not tell him is lying. He needs to know ASAP before his questions fester and should decide on his own what to do moving forward about your brother. Clearly, they need to talk without you, but just pretending nothing happened will backfire on you. I, female 29, have a niece, young child, who's biracial. Her dad, my brother, is white, and her mom is black. Her mom passed away when she was less than a year old, so it's just my brother watching and raising her. I have a daughter, a kindergartner, and my niece and she are best friends. The girls have wanted to do a spa day, so we did an at-home one last night. Well, everything was going great. My daughter and I both had our hair in high ponytails. My niece wanted her hair like ours too. My niece has curly hair. They're more loose curls, but it's still curly. My brother always said not to touch my niece's hair. I thought he was just being dramatic. Well, I started brushing it to put it up, and it got poofy fast. I didn't know what to do, so I just left it. Well, when my brother came to pick her up, He saw her hair and asked what happened. I explained how niece wanted a high ponytail like us, and I tried to put it up, but that happened. My brother was visibly upset. He said, "That's why I didn't want you to ever do anything with her hair. You don't realize how hard it is to take care of curly hair." I thought he was just being overdramatic and told him he needed to chill out and it'll be okay. He called me an idiot for not listening to him when he told me not to do something and acting like it wasn't a big deal. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot. White people don't know non-white hair. You were told not to touch her hair. It doesn't matter if you think someone's being dramatic. If someone tells you not to do something with their kid, you're automatically the idiot if you do it. That's simple. This has nothing to do with white people don't know white hair and everything to do with the fact that OP deliberately ignored the precise instructions of a parent with regard to their child. OP was repeatedly told not to touch her niece's hair. She blatantly disregarded this because she decided she knew better than the child's own father. The color of one's skin has zero bearing on curly hair. Lots of white people have very curly hair that must be treated in a specific and appropriate manner, including never brushing it. He's not overreacting. They probably have an entire routine that they have to follow for her hair to be acceptable. You wouldn't have been the idiot if you had taken the steps to remedy what you did and learn about her hair type and texture. But instead, you left it the way you did it and shrugged and went, "OMG, you're so dramatic." Eye roll. For your niece's sake, please educate yourself. I'm fostering an older miniature horse from a local rescue. Not only is she not rideable because of her size, but she also has cancer. Honestly, I'm not sure how much longer she has, and my place is more of a hospice. She's also lost weight because of it, so now she's getting pampered while she lives out her life. She wants peppermints and apples after her meals. She can't have a few bites. Occasionally, I have neighbors with kids who come to say hi to the horses. Usually not a problem, since they typically keep an eye on the kids and I know them. They just can't go into the pastures. A few weeks ago, we had a new family with young kids move in. I believe they're tweens, but I'm unsure of the exact age. They came over and said hi, and they asked if they could also say hi to the horses. So I said yes, and explained that it has to be over the fence. Kids need to be supervised at all times, and they can't ride. They were respectful of this for a while, or so I thought. Maybe a week ago, I received a text from another neighbor that those kids have been over without parents. I have cameras around the property but seldom check them, but sure enough, they were seen messing with the horses and trying to ride, especially the sick mare I mentioned earlier. I went to their house and told them the kids were banned from the property unless they were supervised, and I was also there. Then I explained that one of them was sick. The next day, the kids, only the kids, no parents, rang the bell and asked if they could ride the horses. I said no and sent the kids back. I texted the parents. "We discussed this yesterday. You need to watch your kids." I specifically explained no riding horses either. If this keeps happening, I'll get law enforcement involved. I haven't seen the kids for a few days, so I thought I got my point across. I was grocery shopping and I got an alert on my phone from my cameras. I changed the settings to be on the safe side after sending the text to the new neighbors. It was the kids again, and they were messing with the sick mare and trying to ride. She doesn't look as intimidating because of her size. I called the cops and told them someone's trespassing on my property. I arrived as soon as possible, and an officer and the parents were already there. I explained to the officer that the neighbors were told of the rules and showed him the text and the security footage. The parents' faces were turning redder by the second, and they tried to claim that I was lying. Since I had the footage, the officers issued a warning to the parents and told them if it happens again, I could press trespassing charges. The kids were crying and their dad started throwing his own tantrums, saying it wasn't fair, and the kids had every right to ride. I looked him in the eye and deadpan said, "Oh, okay. Does that mean I can force your elderly dad to give me a piggyback ride when he's bedridden with cancer?" The officer was trying so hard not to laugh as he told the family that they needed to get off the property. Not the idiot. The right to ride? Has anybody explained that a horse is a private property? You are definitely going to need to press charges if it happens again. I feel like when it happens again is very soon. Entitlement like that almost guarantees it. They have a right to ride. They trespass on your land and touch a sick animal that's big enough to kick them across the fence, and they think they have the right to ride? What entitled jerks? No doubt if she kicks one of those kids, the idiot parents would be awfully quick to sue. How many warnings do people need? The father may throw a temper tantrum all he likes, but that doesn't change the fact that it's your property, so your rules. In my opinion, perfectly normal rules. It's not just private property. It's a living, breathing animal with feelings, emotional and physical. I also work with horses, and the entitlement people have over these animals is still astounding. Those people don't care about the animal in front of them. They only care about their own amusement. Those kids and parents need to learn boundaries and respect for animals. I'm male, have a house with a pool that I rent on weekends and throw parties. The kitchen and swimming pool are on the outside. Friday, I went to the market to buy drinks, meats, and various things, because Sunday there would be a party in this house, so the fridge had a lot of things. On Saturday, my brother called me, asking if I had rented the house this Saturday for someone, and when I said no, he informed me that he had passed by and heard very loud music in it, in addition to several voices. I asked him to meet me there, and I went with my husband. About 20 people were enjoying the pool, drinking, and having a barbecue with my stuff. Apparently, they used a ladder to jump over the wall. The wall had a broken fence that would be replaced tomorrow. It's the only wall that faces the street. When they saw us, they started to get even more desperate that my brother had the ladder. They tried to escape, but we kind of protected the wall. The police had already been called, so we didn't want anyone to escape. Nothing happened to anyone, to make it clear. They just tried to get past us to go to the lowest wall, but couldn't. The police arrived. There were 7 children, 12 adolescents, and 1 adult, 39-year-old. Those responsible for the kids were called, and this caused a mess because they started to accuse us of entertaining kids in my house. The police gave me the freedom to press charges or not, but I said I just wanted the value of the items consumed, pay for a cleaner, and clean the pool. Yes, it would cost quite a bit because the outside area was a mess and almost everything was used in the fridge. The adults began to say that just scolding from the police would be enough and that I know how stupid young people can be and begged me not to charge that amount, as most of them are extremely poor. I stood by my decision, saying that they would have until Monday to pay me for my damage. Otherwise, I would press charges against everyone. Yes, I heard a lot of curses, but today I received the full amount. My husband said that I was very harsh because I paid out of my pocket anyway, and that for us, there would be no difference in that money. But for extremely low-income families, yes. I really don't think it's fair to have this expense, despite being able to pay without difficulty. Of course, young people are stupid, but still they broke into my house, used everything in it, and left a mess. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They broke in, ate your food, and made a mess of the place. Plus, if anything happened to a kid there, i.e. break an arm or drown, you'd be held responsible, which isn't fair. Those parents are lucky you didn't press charges and just demanded reimbursement. Having grown up extremely poor and having an out-of-control sister who used to get in trouble all the time, this really triggers me. Some of those kids would go to bed hungry until their parents' next paycheck. I would have forced the 39-year-old to foot the entire bill if this had been me. Out of everyone there, he should have known better. Also, since you've already been reimbursed, I get the feeling the parents are good people, doing their best. My take, charge only the adult present and let the kids off with just the fear of law enforcement, which probably scared them silly, and discipline of their parents. They straight up broke in and used the house like it was theirs. Who does that? I grew up poor too, but I knew not to break into other people's homes, eat their food, and trash their pool. How the people involved ended up pulling the money together is their business. Pressing charges would have had a much worse impact on those kids and their families. However, actions have consequences, and OP was extremely charitable. My wife, Tiffany, is pregnant with our 3rd child, 6 months. Our other children are kindergartners, male and female. Tiffany and my mother have had a complicated relationship for reasons in the past because of both of them. My mother lives 5 hours away. I have a disease, and because of it, I have severe migraine attacks that I've already stopped at the hospital, etc. I had one of them 2 weeks ago, and I was in the hospital for 3 days. And when I got home, I was in bed in so much pain that I couldn't do anything. Despite Tiffany's resistance, she agreed to my mother's help, as she was overwhelmed with pregnancy, our dog, and the twins. The next 2 weeks were a nightmare, and I don't know how a war didn't happen, but yes, my mother helped a lot, but the two of them didn't get along at all. However, I got much better at the end of the second week, and I suggested that my mother could go back to her house if she wanted. She replied that she'd like to spend more time with us to help these last few days. She would stay 4 more. In the bedroom, Tiffany freaked out, saying she couldn't take it at all. I thought of something. I suggested it, and I could ask her to leave, but my mom would complain. Or I could give Tiffany a few days off, leaving her at the hotel with no responsibilities those 4 days, and my mom would complain anyway. So my mother complains, but Tiffany would be relaxing in the hotel. She started to complain that it was unfair for her to have to do this, but when she realized it was 4 days of all-inclusive and there were no responsibilities, she accepted. So she went to the hotel on Sunday, and she's there now. When my mom found out that Tiffany had gone to the hotel, she asked why, and I said I wanted to give her a break and that it was tense these 2 weeks. My mother freaked out, saying it was extremely rude for a person to go to the hotel right when she said she would stay more days, and that she had also helped, and I didn't even want to give her anything. I even offered to give her a spa weekend in the future, but it's still frothing to this day that I'm endorsing this kind of behavior from my wife, and how disappointed she is that we did it. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You knew that your mother and wife didn't get along and decided to kick your wife out of her house to accommodate your mother, who you asked to stay without consulting your wife. If you can afford to send your wife to a hotel for 4 days, then you could have afforded to hire a housekeeper and not put your wife through torture with your mother. Tell your mom to leave. She's an idiot, and hire someone that'll actually help your wife and not harass her as your mom does. He didn't kick her out. If my husband offered that when my mother-in-law stayed with us, a few days of relaxation, no stress, and no responsibility, sign me up. And she's pregnant. She could use it. I personally think it was a great idea on his side. I applaud him for finding a way to do something nice for his wife while allowing his mom to stay longer. The mom doesn't love the wife, so she shouldn't give a hoot. I applaud you, OP. I don't get how OP doesn't see how ick his mom is. Mom offered to help and is offended that OP's wife gets a gift of rest because she helped too. Like, how dare your pregnant wife benefit from my help? It was just supposed to be for you. Super petty and much more childish than not wanting an unpleasant person in your home. OP won't blame his mom for this because their animosity is both their fault. Okay, but this is 100% on your mom right now, dude. OP is the idiot because he's asking if he's an idiot just because his mommy says so. It sounds like the wife is fine, just his mother throwing a tantrum.